Hej, jak to, že mám obrázek tamhle? Co to za... blbost? Našlo to hru? Nenašlo. Klasika.
Charles IV, King of Bohemia and Holy Roman Emperor, had a long and successful reign. The empire he ruled from Prague expanded, and his subjects lived in peace and prosperity. When the emperor died, the whole empire mourned. More than 7,000 people accompanied him on his last procession. The heir to the throne of the flourishing empire was Charles's son, Wenceslas IV, whose father had prepared him for this moment all his life. But Wenceslas did not take after his father. He neglected affairs of state for more frivolous pursuits. He even failed to turn up for his own coronation as emperor, which did little to endear him to the Pope. Wenceslas the Idle did not impress the imperial nobility either. His difficulties mounted until the nobles, exasperated by the inaction of their ruler, turned for help to his half-brother, King Sigismund of Hungary. Sigismund decided on a radical solution. He kidnapped the king to force him to abdicate, then took advantage of the ensuing disorder to gain greater power for himself. He invaded Bohemia with a massive army and began pillaging the territories of the king's allies. It is here that my story begins.
Kde jsem? Jo, už vím, kde jsem. Já jsem říkal, nebyl jistý, kde jsem. Co ty tady děláš, ty vole? Ty jsi se vytvořil z ničeho nic tady, nebo co? A přitom jsem měl do Sázavy, když jsem to ukládal. Je zajímavý, že se to neuložilo. Já jsem chtěl totiž sem dolů jet. A chtěli jsme jet sem. A jedem. Už mi to jako ten na tom streamu neukazuje hru a přitom jí mám. Ani mi to neukazuje chat, to je nějaký divný, to je nějaký zabugovaný. Zapnu znovu a resetnu, tak. Jo, už mi to ukazuje, vítejte v chatovací místnosti, konečně. Myslím, že prší. Podle zvuku.
Yeah. Yeah.
On to nepřeskočí, jo, mi chci říct. Ježiši. Zaber. Zaber. No, vidíš, že to jde holka. Máme hlad? Kde seš? To se chceš skovat před deštěm nebo co? Teď už neprší? Tady.
Greetings, good night. How may I serve you?
Ne, to není ono. Hostinskýho se mám zeptat. Pojď sem, hostinský.
God save you.
I'm looking for some people you might know something about.
If they come here to drink, maybe. But I won't aid you in any mischief.
I've heard some rough men come here looking to recruit. Have they ever stopped in to eat or drink? Or to arrange something?
There were some brawlers that used to fight behind the tavern, but they raised such a commotion. I went and complained, and the town watch drove them off somewhere.
I wasn't thinking about that lot. I'm looking for recruiters that hire mercenaries and other cutthroats.
Don't know about that. Every once in a while, a merchant will hire some help or an escort, but nothing more. Nobody comes here regular. I'd notice if they did.
You haven't heard talk of any scoundrels in town?
Well, I have heard some things, but I can't say if they're true or not. There's some that talk just to hear the sound of their own voices.
And who's the most frequent topic of that kind of gossip?
Miller Simon. They say he's rich with coin, and it's not from the mill. But that's nonsense. Folk just don't know how much a mill can earn.
Anyone else?
Aye, there's talk of the knacker giving people the evil eye, or them that's not in bailiff's good graces. But I don't suppose that's what you want to know.
Do you happen to know where the brawlers you complained about moved on to?
I've not got the slightest inkling. I'm just glad all the shouting
Zary, taky tě zdravím.
scared the horses in the stables.
Thank you, innkeeper.
Not at all. Would you like something to eat or drink?
I'm here looking for a fellow called Elijah from Merriett.
I know him, but you're most likely to find him in some tap room on the square. He only comes here now and then.
Thanks.
Farewell.
To je na té straně, nebo je to na druhé straně? Na druhé straně, to je tadyhle. A to Ačko je kde? Tamhle uprostřed. Nejdřív to dali na Bčko. Deliverance.cz, já nevím, co jsi napsal. Jestli jsi něco napsal? Já už vím proč. Tvůj nick nepodporuje pravidla Twitche. Bohužel, kamaráde. Asi tě tady nebudu mít. Nejdu do práce, jdu doktoru ráno. Změň si nick, prosím tě. Do té doby bych byl rád, kdybys tady na streamu nebyl, nebo nepsal.
I'm at your service, Sir Knight.
I've got a few questions for you, Bailiff, if you don't mind. Have you been having some trouble around here?
And what business is it of yours? Did
Opravdu se
someone
divím, že ti
complain?
ten Twitch povolil
Who
takovýhle
sent
nick.
you here?
No one complained, though I'd be interested to know why you think they might. It was Lord Radzig who sent me. He'd heard word that some unsavoury characters are holed up round here.
Begging your pardon, but what the devil does Sir Radzig care about it? And I keep hearing the same from Sir Sebastian.
Jo,
And
takhle.
he's got no
Aha,
dog
tak
in this
potom v
fight
pořádku. Metisi, kdyby si chtěl být mod, musíš zapsat na Discord a napiš Extremu nebo Vajdimu.
Sir Sebastian? Who's that?
Sebastian Baron von Berg. He's here under monastery law to protect us against all this unrest in the land.
Why should he care about the city? That's not his jurisdiction, is it?
Quite true. I'm in charge of this city, but he keeps telling me I've got cutthroats hiding
Ne,
around
právě
here,
rasistické
and I
je
should
tvůj
be more
nick,
vigilant.
kamaráde.
The goal of the man.
You have an inn and the horse trails cross here. There must be many travellers come seeking work.
Rasistické je
and not
tvůj
all of
nick
them
právě.
honest
Aye, it's true. Bedlam has broken out once or twice, and restoring order was no easy matter.
men. Has there been anything like that lately?
No, it's been quiet here lately. Now that I think about it, I don't recall coming across anyone here like that.
Nobody looking for soldiering work, maybe as a merchant's guard?
There's always one or two like that. But if they don't get the job, they move on.
I heard some recruiters are meeting in Sasau. Seemed likely they get up to mischief and people might complain.
Do you think that people here complain and I don't do my job? Nothing of the sort. Old Lederman's the only one that comes complaining, but I pay no heed to him.
And what does this Lederman complain about?
Lederman is our local tanner. Lives by the quarry, which is where, well, some youngsters go there to wrestle.
They go there to fight and that doesn't bother you?
Why would it bother me? Much better to brawl there than
Určitě
in the
nemáš
tavern.
mít před tím nickem
At least in the
smradlavej.
quarry they can't damage anything but each other. And my catchpoles go by there from time to keep an eye on things.
Přesně jeho nick nevyslovuju, přesně tak. Proto říkám, že on z toho bude mít problémy.
Have you heard any talk of strangers in the town? Maybe people acting oddly?
Nothing worth mentioning. Sure, there's been some talk about the miller. Folks saying they've been seeing him doing this or that, or people visiting him at night. But he's never done anything. He's a decent enough man. For a miller.
I'll try asking him if he's heard anything.
He lives on the other side of the river, by the bogs. But don't go getting your hopes up. He might not be able to help.
Thank you, Bailiff.
Díky. Díky. To by znělo líp rozhodně. Ne takhle, jak to tam máš napsaný. tenhle? Hrobník to je. Ten
I hope I
verbíc.
can be of help to you, knight.
Jo, můžeš.
Are you the local knacker?
I'm the local grave digger. But if there aren't any burials to take care of, I'll turn me hand to knackering.
Well, then you might know a lot of things that others don't.
I'm a decent man. Not always honest, but
To je
decent.
karetní hra. Takže by to mělo být v pořádku.
Anything fishy going on in these parts?
There certainly is. Candles are being stolen from the church. As brazen as that. What sort of people do that?
Ah, but have you heard of anyone around here hiring adventurers and bandits?
To je jako kdyby ti někdo
How would
zakázal
I know
okobere.
that? Most people avoid talking to me. I don't even go to
Tohle
the
karetní
tavern
hra,
much
že jo?
these days.
And what's been happening in Sasau lately?
Nothing interesting. Except maybe that bitch being slaughtered.
What? Who was she, a villager? I wouldn't call that nothing interesting.
Ale každopádně
No,
uděláme tohle, já
I
nechci
mean
mít
a
ban.
dog bitch. It was a while back, but they
Sure.
called me to clear it up.
What happened?
Šup.
The dog looked like she'd been hacked to bits. They were scared it was some demon, but as far as I could see, someone took a sword or an axe to her.
Why on earth would anyone do that?
What do I know? Maybe he was snooping around where he shouldn't, and the bitch went for him. I hear there was some dog-bitten fellow being cared for at the monastery. Only they kept him there on account of a broken leg. Maybe that's the same one.
Super.
Thank you. I'll be going now.
Very well. Feel free to stop by any time. People shy away from me, except when there's a death, or the cesspit's full. God be with you.
Nevím, jestli to srdčko není blíž. To bylo Ačko, nebo co to bylo? Cčko, ne? Jo, Cčko. Když je to tím směrem.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Watch what you're doing! There's people walking here!
Jak nadáváš, že jsem mu přel. To je, sekla se hra, nebo co? Už.
Good day to you.
Tanner, I've heard all's not well with you.
It's better now. I must have eaten something bad.
No, I mean you've complained about some ruffians raising hell behind your house.
Aye, true enough. That lot's been a thorn in my side. And when I went to tell them to take it elsewhere, they nearly beat me to a pulp.
How many of them are there?
How would I know? They make as much noise as a herd of wild boar in rutting season.
And did they all attack you?
Aye, they knocked the stuffing right out of me.
When are they there?
Nearly every evening. Every
Dios.
god-forsaken evening. Shouting and bellowing there till nightfall. And then they leave. Probably to get drunk.
And nobody does a thing about it?
I've been to the bailiff, but he couldn't give a rat's arse. There's no commotion under his window, so what does he care?
That's quite a bailiff you've got.
A scarecrow would keep better order.
If you want, I'll take care of them.
Well, you look like you could move mountains, but there are several of them and just one of you.
Perhaps we'll be able to settle things peacefully.
Maybe.
They might think twice before kicking your arse.
Perhaps I can reason with them. It doesn't have to come to blows.
Well, break a leg, lad. Or better yet, don't. But if you manage to pull it off, you'll get your reward. Don't worry.
Goodbye.
Tak kdyby to bylo tady. Jo, to je servo. Nikde nikde spát, jo. Tu furt nejsou. Já nenajdu postel žádnou.
God almighty, has something happened to you? Did someone steal your fancy clothes?
I'm looking for an odd jobber.
From Murhoyed? Yes, I know. I haven't seen him yet today, but he comes here almost daily. He's bound to show up.
Ah. Well, thank you. Have you noticed anything
And what's your idea of suspicious?
Have you heard of anyone looking to hire some rough men?
Mercenaries, you mean?
Yes.
There were some fellows conspiring here in the corner twice a week, and others coming and going. They didn't look entirely respectful, but they never made any trouble.
And what happened to them?
I don't know, they just stopped coming. And I haven't seen hide nor hair of them since.
You haven't heard anything about where they went?
How could I have? They just stopped coming, and that's that.
Where do you think they might be meeting now?
How should I know?
Is there any way I'll recognize them?
Unquenchable thirst? They drank like fish. They were rough-looking too. Big-bearded and scruffy. Aside from that, they mostly kept to themselves.
That's not much help.
They drank, and they played dice.
So they were fond of dice, were they? And where would you find a game around here?
Anywhere there's dice and usually drink. That's all you need for a game. Although it dawns on me now, I never saw Simon with those men, oddly enough. He's got a nose for drunken dice players with a coin to lose.
Simon who?
Why, the young miller. He runs Katzig Mill. Neighbours are always slandering him for trafficking, but who knows? Maybe he just has a knack for business.
No já jdu za chvilinku spát, hele, za 4 minuty jdu spinkat. No ty asi.
You don't know where I might find some more dishonourable folk?
And why would you want them? You'll set tongues wagging about you.
But they'd be the ones to know what reputable townsfolk don't.
I grant you that. Well, we don't have an executioner, just a knacker. But he's an odd fellow. Like any knacker, I suppose. And there's some strange tales about Miller Simon, too. But I'd say it's just jealousy.
What can you tell me about Simon?
There's not much to tell. He runs Katzig Mill, and some say thieves meet there at night. But isn't there gossip about every miller? I don't think he's a sinner. But only God knows for sure.
Anything else?
You might not find him at the mill. He's a busy man, always out and about making some deal or other. And he likes to throw dice, especially when he sees a fat purse hanging on a drunken belly.
What can you tell me about the knacker?
Decent folk don't talk about him. He deals in carcasses.
I was hoping you'd tell me a bit more than that.
Why should I care about him? He lives in a house by the church, and that's all I know. And all I'll say.
Jo, tak to jsi blázen. Já stávám v 6 hodin a jdu k doktorce, no. A pak ještě k jednomu a pak ještě jednomu, takže já jdu zítra ke 3 doktorům. Když předpokládám, že se vrátím o půlnoci někdy, teda o půlnoci. No, ve 12 jsem chtěl říct, v pravý poledne. Ne o půlnoci, ale v pravý poledne.
Take care.
Tak jo. Tak dobrou noc všem. Mějte se krásně, užívejte si večer. Ty si užij film. Spánek dohání po škole, to je taky možnost. Tak užívejte večer všichni, kdo tam jste, užívejte si filmy. Prostě život. Mějte se krásně a ahoj, já už na půl spím, to jo.